Viewers, what was meant to be a night of celebration turned into a night of absolute horror in Bengaluru. Outside the iconic Chinnaswamy Stadium, where thousands had gathered to celebrate RCB's historic IPL victory, a stampede claimed 11 lives and left 47 people injured, many of them crushed in the chaos. But what shocked many even more was what followed. Despite the news of the tragedy unfolding outside, the celebrations carried on with ministers inside the stadium. Cheers, music and lights continued in what many are calling a shocking display of insensitivity. Karnataka's chief minister refused to take any responsibility for the tragedy. Instead, he shifted the blame onto the crowd. Siddaramaiah claimed that while the stadium could hold 35,000 people, a staggering 2 to 3 lakh had gathered for the celebrations.
Nobody has expected so much of crowd will come because the capacity of the stadium is only 35,000 people. Only 35,000 seats are there. But 2 to 3 lakh people have come to participate in the celebration.
Meanwhile, some voices within the government struck a different note. The State Home Minister G. Parmeshwara called this incident as unfortunate and pointed out that compensation is not the answer for the loss of lives. Minister Priyank Kharge admitted the lapses and took the responsibility for this incident. In fact, he promised that they will correct their mistakes.
It is unfortunate, this incident has happened. I feel very sorry for it. 11 innocent lives have been lost. I pray the Almighty to give strength, to the families. Government also is with them. We have given a compensation. Of course, compensation is not a, an answer. But then again, we have to, as government, we have to do that.
Had such crowds not been anticipated, so you said nearly 9 lakh, 8.7 lakh people is what travelled back in the metro. Was this crowd not anticipated at all, sir?
Metro has made an announcement that between 9 and 11, there were about 8.7 lakh people have travelled. So 90% of them would be the same crowd. So that is the magnitude of the crowd. I am trying to say that.
Seeing that there was just about 5,000 police personnel that were deployed is what the government says. About 2 lakh people who had turned up. How was the proportion?
It's very clear when the CM and the DCM spoke yesterday, saying that we are not going to defend anything. There has been a few lapses from our end when it comes to planning, and 2.5–3 lakh people coming onto the streets was something that was not expected, and more importantly, the lack of time for preparation also is one of the things. As a part of the magisterial commission that has been formed, everybody will be questioned. We'll figure out why it happened so that these things don't happen the next time. So the difference between us and other governments are we are taking responsibility, we are taking up moral responsibility for everything, and we are taking corrective measures so that these things don't happen in the future.
Even as lakhs of fans, viewers were left to fend for themselves outside the stadium with no crowd control, no basic arrangements and no escape from the chaos, one person had no trouble getting through. A massive row has now erupted over reports that Congress Minister Zamir Ahmad Khan's son was given VIP access to the RCB celebration event. Images have surfaced showing him alongside RCB players comfortably inside the stadium, even as the stampede-like scenes played out outside. The BJP has launched a scathing attack on the Karnataka government over the Bengaluru Stampede tragedy, demanding nothing less than the resignation of both the Chief Minister as well as his deputy. Calling it a manufactured stampede, the Bharatiya Janata Party accused the Congress government of blatant insensitivity and questioned the very decision to hold such a massive event without adequate planning. The BJP has also questioned the Congress as to who is responsible for organizing the event and asked, will the Chief Minister now be arrested the way actor Allu Arjun was?
जिस प्रकार से कल कर्नाटक के बेंगलुरु में चिन्नास्वामी स्टेडियम में 11 लोगों की मृत्यु हुई है स्टैम्पीड में, यह न केवल कर्नाटक के लिए बल्कि पूरे भारतवर्ष के लिए एक बहुत ही दुखद घटना है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने, सभी ने इसके लिए दुख जताया है, मगर कुछ गंभीर सवाल हैं जो आज उठते हैं। चिन्नास्वामी स्टेडियम में जो हुआ है, क्या वह मात्र एक एक्सीडेंट था? Was it just an accident or was it a manufactured stampede? मैं कहूंगा कर्नाटक के बेंगलुरु में जो हुआ है, it was a government manufactured stampede. And look at the audacity of the Chief Minister. Chief Minister सिद्धरामैया कहते हैं ऐसे stampede तो बाकी जगहों में होते रहते हैं. He's trying to normalize a stampede in which 11 innocent lives, 11 valuable lives have been lost.
This is the height of shamelessness. It is arrogance after apathy, delusion and denial after disaster. What should have been a celebration turned into a catastrophe. It is a state-sponsored, man-made tragedy and disaster for which Congress is completely responsible. And look at the response of the Chief Minister. He says many incidents takes place, Kumbh took place. He's blaming other states and saying, I have never raised these issues. What does he mean? Deputy Chief Minister blames the crowds, but he does not take his own responsibility. He sits arrogantly. Today, the questions that beg answers is that why was the full preparation not done? Why, when the police said that we cannot handle this, they denied permission, despite that such event was held?
बैंगलोर के अंदर जो मासूमों की जान गई है, इसके लिए जिम्मेदार कर्नाटका की सिद्धरामैया की कांग्रेस सरकार है। अगर कर्नाटका की सरकार को ये इंटेलिजेंस नहीं थी और ये पता नहीं था कि 1 लाख से ज्यादा की भीड़ आ सकती है, तो ये दर्शाता है कि स्टेट वाज नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर इट। जब इनको पता चला कि स्टैम्पीड में मासूमों की जान चली गई, तो क्यों नहीं कर्नाटका के मुख्यमंत्री या डेप्यूटी चीफ मिनिस्टर सेलिब्रेशन को छोड़कर मासूमों को देखने गए और उनके परिवारजनों से मिलकर गए।
Meanwhile, Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar broke down while addressing the media today and said that he wasn't aware of the stampede during the bash. He also added that they take responsibility for the incident and accused the BJP of being the mastermind of these theories and urging all sides to not politicize the matter.
I don't want to speak politics, dirty politics. Our yavatunu BJP and JDS always place politics on dead bodies. That is their life, this one. Yeah, their agenda, political agenda. But they should see what they have done. We are deeply hurt. It is our own family, all the members, the image of Karnataka, the image of Bangalore. Yes, we take it. We are not blaming on others, though it has happened very unexpectedly. We never expect, no one expected such a crowd. After 18 years, I don't know what was boiling in the youngsters. They all came. No doubt, some decision was there. They wanted to come when they open. That is all debatable. Things has happened. Now let us be a part of the grief. We want to respect them. My party, even in the national level also, they are very much concerned on this.
Viewers, I'm also joined by an eyewitness who was present at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Ms. Choddi Shivaram is joining us on Times Now. Ms. Shivaram, thanks very much for speaking with us on Times Now. Can I start by asking you what you saw yesterday around you as this stampede occurred?
At the beginning, I want to convey my heartfelt condolences to the families and the victims' families, and my salutations to all those volunteers who carried them on their shoulders and ran. So this, what I saw was horrendous. And I was at the clubhouse member stand. I came out to make a phone call and I saw some commotion. I thought it must be some intruder or a VIP coming, and suddenly I saw they were trying to resuscitate a person. And then in quick succession, within 10 minutes, I saw 6 of them being carried on. Oh, they were lifeless. We could make out they were lifeless. They were being carried on the shoulders of these volunteers who are running to the other gate, which is the Queen's Road main gate. So that was a scene that is haunting me. I don't know why I went there. Was it to see this? God knows.
Ms. Shivaram, can I also understand from you, lots of things are being said as far as the situation there, the arrangements were concerned. One of the things that is being said is that there was no clarity on entry and exit points. People didn't know where to go. And of course, a lot of people had gathered, more than the capacity of the stadium. What was the situation there? Can you give us some clarity?
See, as members, we always enter through gate number 10, which is designated gate for the members. And during all matches, there's some amount of commotion there with people trying to gain entry, not valid ticket holders and all this. So it was just as much as that. But what I saw on that road when I entered were people were running helter-skelter, these kids, and all of them were youngsters, most of them. And I was appalled to see mothers had brought their young kids. Fine, they came. If the crowd, I don't think it was sensible for them to still remain in the crowd and try to push their way. That was a scary thing to see. I noticed this, but then I thought it's the regular match frenzy, and these guys are running to catch a glimpse of the players when they were coming in the bus, which is a common thing that happens during all matches. But after I entered the member stand, there was some commotion, and that was a normal thing. But afterwards, what I saw was these things. And what I would like to tell you here is the entry to the member stand is from the, the small road that is between the police grounds, the police training center, and Gandhi Park. That is the designated road for these stands. Gate number 7, 8, 10, all of these. 7, I understand it is between gate number 8 and 7 where these incidents of stampede happened. Now, at the entrance of this, I was shocked to see that almost 100 to 150 motorcycles and scooters were parked. I don't know who ever gave them permission or whose vehicles they were. They were all parked there blocking half the road when the road had to be actually kept free for any exigencies. That was one thing. Usually during matches, there are police vehicles, there are these bomb detection vehicles and ambulances parked there. I didn't see any ambulance there. And what I felt was there was sufficient space inside the police grounds on the training center where they could have parked some ambulances. And maybe when seeing the swelling crowds, it would not have been difficult to quickly arrange for some paramedics and medical help to be set up at this center. And the fact that, these victims had to be carried on their shoulders and run from East Gate to West Gate, almost 150 meters, I think precious time was lost in that. Had medical help been here, maybe they could have been saved, considering they're young and their bodies would be resilient.
Yes, so you're saying there was no medical arrangement that was there, considering the fact that such large crowds were gathering there, and therefore the authorities should have made this in case any eventuality happens. That clearly has happened. You're also saying that a gate that...
Let me be very specific. What I saw was no ambulance or medical facility on the road that was leading to gate number 7, 8, 10, where the crowds were swelling.
Okay. No ambulances, no medical facilities, no medical arrangements. What you're also saying is that a gate that could have been open to the crowds, that had a number of vehicles that were parked outside of it, which usually doesn't happen.
Of the road.
Yeah.
Not at the gate, at the entrance of the road.
At the entrance of the road, which is bizarre considering the fact that such a big event is being held there. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Also, I want to understand from you this entire claim that is being made, Ms. Shivaram, about tickets, about public announcements that were made. There's a lot of confusion around it. Was there tickets being sold? Were there public announcement made for such an event? What was the entire claim that is being made?
See, I have no idea about this because we as members, we are entitled to go, and previously also there were these functions which we have attended, which are very well organized. So I have no clue, but what I did see yesterday from these youngsters running, some of them are opening some app and they're saying scan this and scan that, and I'm not able to get through. So I was wondering, is this kind of open to tickets? That's when I was also wondering whether it's ticketed, whether there are passes that were issued online. What are these people? Have they been misled? Because there were umpteen WhatsApp messages, the same message that got circulated about the itinerary of the road show and of the felicitation at Vidhan Sauda. These were common same forwards. So I don't know what misled or informed these youngsters. I saw some of them, opening some scanner. I don't know what it was.
Okay. So there is still that clarity that is needed. But Ms. Shivaram, the government has put the onus on Royal Challengers Bengaluru, saying that security was their responsibility. When you were there, what is the kind of security deployment, the number of police personnel that were there, all of that, was it in proper place, or you thought that this is too less a number for such a huge gathering?
Shall I tell you something about police security? There are CCTV cameras all around. I think it will be best to, observe the footage here and see how many were there, who were there, what they did and what they didn't do. I think that will speak for itself, and clarity would be there on who did their work or who didn't do their work. As far as other security is concerned, I must also, give credit to the staff of KSCA Clubhouse. They did amazing work. The security of KSCA Clubhouse and the staff, I can't tell you, they put their lives at risk at the gate and they manned it so beautifully, and they really overworked some of them. That was that part of the security. There was the usual hullabulla and skirmishes. Again, people saying, how dare you check me? Who are you to check me? This nonsense was happening. They had to deal with all kinds of people there in this kind. But yes, the crowds were swelling. And I think somewhere their due diligence was missing. When they saw the crowd swelling, either they should have been dispersed or some kind of damage control was necessary.
There are also, visuals that came out, Ms. Shivaram, of what happened inside the stadium while the stampede was taking place outside. Were you there inside when this so-called 10-minute felicitation ceremony that the government is calling it was taking place? What was happening that time inside the stadium while people were suffering outside?
I was ashamed sitting there. I squirmed that I was sitting there, because just before that I had seen these 6 young lifeless people being carried, and inside there was the DJ, lively music, announcements, completely oblivious to what is happening just even 10 meters behind them. And I would not believe that none of them knew about it. I'm sorry, I will refuse to accept that people did not know. And it was a mockery of all sorts. There are the players in the balcony showing their trophy, glorifying it, reveling in that whatever success, and then there are the show and people on the stage. Not a word of condolence, not a word of saying that there has been an unfortunate incident that has happened, and it was a complete. It's a shame on us. It's a shame on humanity that this celebration even took place when on the very place where the bodies of these youngsters went, the players have walked in, and this has happened. The least they could have done is they could have made an announcement that people stay calm and be where you are. An unfortunate incident has happened. We are unable to continue with this program, but here are the players, here is the trophy. Take a look at it and be done with it in 3 minutes. Very
Even
solemn.
That did not happen. Ms. Shivaram, despite the stampede taking place, was there somebody from the security or the authorities making that announcement for everybody to stay calm?
No. The only announcement made to stay calm by the DJ was when Kohli was speaking. They were all cheering, and he kept saying, with folded hands, I request you, please be silent, please listen to him. That was the announcement made, but not an announcement saying, unfortunate incidents have happened, and they have fans who have given their lives to the game and these players. And how shameful it is that they were pretending to be oblivious to this whole thing. I'm sure people knew, and this should have been ideally called off. And
Yes.
if they could not call it off, it should have been conducted with some amount of solemnness, and a condolence had to be offered to these victims.
That
Think of the
clearly didn't
families, what
happen.
they're going through.
Speeches were being made, is what you're saying. While the stampede
Yes.
happened, speeches were being
Yes.
made inside.
Yes, yes, and the DJ was going full swing with his boisterous announcements, music, dance, some program, some musical happening. I
Okay.
felt, are we a human race at all? On that
Yeah.
side, young children have lost their lives, and just 10 meters on this side is this glorification happening. What kind of a world and society are we living in?
And yet there is nobody, Ms. Shivaram, to come today forward and say, look, I take responsibility. I'm going to be holding these and these people responsible for the lack of preparation that went in this entire tragedy, due to which this entire preventable tragedy happened yesterday. But I'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Everybody is to be blamed for this. Everybody.
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. People are to be blamed for it. Let's see who will be held accountable. But for the moment, Ms. Shivaram, thank you very much for sharing your experience with us on Times Now.